Alright guys, what's going on? This is SecondBlank here, and I am here with no shirt on. I have no idea why I felt the need to say that, but I am wearing pajama bottoms, which is kind of odd actually because it's cold, and I don't know, I guess my lower half is better than my, better protected than my upper half, and I guess that's the decision I chose in life. Just like most decisions, it's a very poor one, so yeah, I can't really help that. But anyway, I am here to give you more gameplay, commentary, thingamabobbers, because that's what I decided to do in life. That's my main mission in life, to do that now. Yeah. Or else I get no cookies. I think that was the deal I chose for myself. I don't remember what the fucking, specifics of the deal was, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to get to the meat and bones of the commentary itself. Of course, if you guys have been paying attention to my last commentary, you found me in a very ranty mood. Now I'm going to decide to change it up a bit and go with a little bit of a lighter side of my commentaries, which I haven't done at all, or if anything, often. But I'm going to start doing that now, so maybe I can, maybe switch off every now and then from ranty to funny, and let's see how that turns out. I want to tell you guys a story about what had happened to me one day when I was in the 6th grade, because these were one of the most embarrassing moments of my life where I did not know what to say to that except to just, shrug it off and I guess let it kind of happen. I don't know. It's a weird thing. But anyway, let's get into the story so you guys know what I'm talking about. Alright, so in the 6th grade, I was basically friends with skaters. I was not a skater myself, but I hung out with the guys because they were cool and they were fun. They were really great friends. It was like a group of 4 of us. Basically, we were inseparable. In the 6th grade, and it was to the point where there was no way you would never see us alone. It was always the 4 of us or none of us at all. Given the fact that I was not a skater myself, I had to subject myself to hanging out with my friends without a skateboard and just basically walk around everywhere where they skate. So whenever they were skating down a hill, one group or one guy would just wait up with me while I'm like walking down a hill or something like that. And as much as I would love to learn how to skate at that time, I was not very coordinated to the point where I would say I can't bounce myself on a board with 4 wheels and just throw caution to the wind and just feel free to do that. So I basically had to be that guy to basically is like kind of like the slacker of the group, but still a great guy to hang out with. I guess I took up that role and I took it up pretty well. But one day we decided to hang out together, but instead of my skater friends, using their skateboards to get around the neighborhood like we usually do when we hang out, we decided to ride bikes, because that way everyone can ride something and is able to, have some sort of, mode of transportation to go around from place to place. And of course, I knew how to ride a bike. I mean, what 6th grader didn't know how to ride a bike? I never heard of such a thing. If you are a 6th grader that don't know how to ride a bike, I suggest you learn immediately, because it is one of the most fun things you could ever do in your childhood, ever. But anyway, my friends decided to take bikes that one of our friends had. We didn't have bikes ourselves when we were hanging out at my friend's house, but my friend had just enough for all 4 of us to ride. The problem was, the bike that my friend decided to let me use was his dad's bike. Now, his dad's bike was a very pink bike, basically sporty kind of bike, where usually you see those in triathlons and stuff like that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't get really specific with that because I don't really know the specs myself, but it was a very sporty bike, basically. It was pink, and of course, if you're a 6th grader and you're riding a pink bike, you look kind of feminine a little bit. Yeah, it kind of downgrades your masculinity a bit when you're riding a bike, but you can't complain about the cards you're dealt with. So I decided to just say, you know what, I'll just ride the pink bike, it's cool. Now, when I took the bike and I chose to ride it, my friend warned me about the bike to say that there was 2 different kinds of brakes on the bike, one for the front brakes and one for the back brakes, and he told me specifically to never pull the back brake that was on the handlebars, because the brakes are so strong that it will stop on a dime. So if you do something like that, he cannot guarantee good things will happen to me. And of course, being the know-it-all that I was back in the day, I was like, yeah, I got it. I know what I'm doing, right? and we decided to ride around the neighborhood after that. But anyway, we were heading back to my friend's place, but we decided to circle around one of the nearby high schools that was around his area. Now, at the high school itself, there was a sharp turn that was on an intersection that we needed to turn into. Back then, there was no bike lane, so we basically had to take the sidewalk all the time. We always had to ride on the sidewalk. We could never take the streets because we were too young to basically ride in the streets safely. So we had to take the choice of making this sharp turn from in that intersection and just go back home to his place, to my friend's place. Now, most of the guys went up ahead of me and made that sharp turn as fast as they could and made it without difficulty. And of course, I wanted to be the guy that shows off as well, right? So I go as fast as I can and pedal and pedal and pedal and pedal, and I tried to make the sharp turn. And of course, like I said, I was uncoordinated back then. I realized I could not make that turn as fast as I was going. So I decided to pull the brakes. Now, I pulled not just the back brakes, but the front brakes as well. So what happened was, the bike stopped immediately. And I thought that it was good. But my whole body kept on going. So the bike was stopped in its tracks while me basically flying like Superman over the bike that I was riding on. So I was stopped at the corner, flying across almost to the street. But of course, I didn't make it to the street. What really broke my my path at that point was a stop sign and a mailbox, which I hit with my body. I hit my back on the stop sign itself, while my head banged against the mailbox over there. So basically, I did a weird Superman jump leap while doing a front flip. And it looked kind of funny, apparently, to most of my friends, because I kid you not, guys, they were rolling on the floor laughing. They were literally ruffling basically, and it was to the point where even snot bubbles were coming out of their noses that they thought was so funny. They were crying. That it was so funny. And of course, I try to man up, be like, "Hey guys, it's not funny. I'm alright, alright. God, this is fucking stupid. I hate this bike." But I would not. That is not the worst part of the story. The worst part of that story, to tell you guys the truth, was that at that very intersection, there was a car full of little kids that witnessed me doing that Superman leap over from my bike and saw me hit the mailbox and hit the stop sign over there. And they pointed and laughed at me. Okay? That was like the most embarrassing thing when you see even kids younger as you laughing at something that you did that was so embarrassing. And I didn't know what to do. I cried, of course, because I was fucking embarrassed. I mean, that was like the most publicly humiliated thing that I've ever done to myself. And what ended up happening was the bike got broken because I pressed the front and back brakes so hard the brakes actually stopped and got stuck onto the wheel itself, so it wouldn't undeploy itself anymore from the tire. So at the end of the day, I ended up having to take the broken pink bike back up a hill to go back to my friend's place to drop it off there, and I had to break it to my friend's dad that I broke his bike. Of course, he wasn't really mad at me. More so, he was laughing himself at the story that my friend ended up telling him. And of course, I got more embarrassed, and in all honesty, it was like one of the worst things that ever happened to me publicly. So guys, I don't know what your embarrassing moment was, but if it involved a bike, a stop sign, and a mailbox, and a car full of kids laughing at you, you know, I don't think anybody could get past that. But you know what? You guys let me know in the comments below. Tell me what one of your most embarrassing stories are, and I would love to hear it. Of course, I'd laugh at it if you ever told me. But, you know, it's nice to hear that I'm not alone in that kind of embarrassment, you know, going on in my life. So, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your day slash evening whenever you're watching this. Ugh, I'm messing up my own fucking outro. But whatever, guys. That's life. This is SecondBlank saying peace out. Later, Gators.